Hello, grade 4s. I hope that you had a wonderful day yesterday and that you enjoyed watching some Star Wars or a different movie and making a report on that. I hope that the force was with you and now that you're ready to do some math. Today we are going to be looking at how to use some of our multiplication strategies with real-life word problems. Or kind of real-life word problems. Well, frankly, word problems are never really real because who on earth eats 37 chocolate bars in one day? But that's besides the point. We are going to be looking at word problems and seeing how we can solve them using multiplication strategies. Now, you get to choose what strategy you want to use. So, if you like using the FOIL method or breaking it apart, you can use that method. If you like the window method, you can use that method. Or if you just prefer the standard algorithm, feel free to use that. This is the opportunity where you have your toolbox, your multiplication toolbox, and now you are going to be choosing what tool you use to solve the problem. Let's go take a look at some word problems using each one of these tools. Here is our first word problem. Now, the very first thing you need to do with a word problem is read the entire thing. It's important that you read the entire thing because you may not always know what you're trying to solve. When you read it all, you're going to know what the goal is to solve. Frequently in word problems, there's something that teachers like to put in them. They're called red herrings. Red herrings are sometimes information that's really not useful for solving the problem, but it throws you off the track. It makes you think you're trying to solve something else. So make sure you read the entire problem so you know what you're trying to solve. Let's look at this first one. You decide to buy your friends gift cards for Roblox. You have 47 friends. Apparently you're quite popular. I wish I had 47 friends. I do not. And spent $25 on each gift card. How much money did you spend on gift cards for your friends? So this question, if we look at it, it's asking how much money. We want to find out what the total amount of money is that we spent on Roblox cards. So we need to look at things we're going to be multiplying. First is 47. We have 47 friends. We know that each gift card cost $25 and there's 47 friends and each friend got a gift card. That means that you now have 47 $25 gift cards. So what we're looking for is 47 times 25. Now we're going to solve this with the standard algorithm. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry over the 3 into the tens column. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3, 23. Now, because we are moving on to the tens column right here, we got to drop the bomb. Now we can begin multiplying. 2 times 7 is 14, 4 here. And I carry over the 1 up here. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Last thing I got to do is add both of these products together. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 4, 7. 2 plus 9 is 11. So you have spent a total of $1,175 on gift cards. Now, this is a really important part about word problems, so pay attention. Whenever you have a word problem, you need to write your answer in a word. Right now, this here, all of this, well, this is just part of the marks. It's not the complete marks. You're not going to get perfect if that's all you put. It's very important with word problems that when you see a word problem, you answer with a complete sentence. So I could put, if I bought 47 Roblox, forgive the messy writing, gift cards for my 47 friends, I would have spent $1,175. Yeah. So now I have answered it properly. I have put my answer in a sentence. Even if it's really messy and it's hard to read, trust me, it's a lot harder to write with this pen on the board than I thought it was, especially if you already have messy writing like Mr. Merrick. But make sure you write your answer in a complete sentence. Super duper important. You won't get full marks. You will not get a 3 or a 4 on your assignment if you just put the answer, even if it's correct. You gotta put it in a sentence as well, okay? So, we've done the math, we use the standard algorithm, and we've written it in a sentence. This is how we solve a word problem. All right, in question 2, we're going to use the window method to solve it. Now remember, before we even start solving it, we need to figure out what are we supposed to be solving. So let's read all of this question. Question 2 is going to be a little bit more difficult than question 1. Mr. Merrick bought 23 Elite Trainer Pokemon boxes. In each box were a total of 5 packs. And in each pack, there were 11 cards. How many Pokemon cards did Mr. Merrick buy? So if we look at this question, we have 3 different numbers to work with. 23, 5, and 11. And the ones that we're going to multiply are a little bit different than the first one. We're not going to multiply 23 by this, by the 5, or 23 by the 11. No, instead, we're going to multiply 23 by the product of 11 and 5. Let's look at what I mean. The question is asking, how many cards did Mr. Merrick buy? Well, we want to know exactly how many cards he bought. We know that he has a total of 23 Elite Trainer boxes, but how many cards are in each of those boxes? That's the first thing we need to find out. We can do that pretty quickly. So for the first part, we got to do some double digit by single digit addition. So we're going to do, because there are 5 packs, each pack has 11 cards, we're going to multiply that first. So 11 times 5. 5 times 1, 5. 5 times 1, 5. We now know that there are a total of 55 Pokemon cards in each Elite Trainer box. We want to find out how many cards did he buy in total. Well, he has 23 boxes, so now we've got to multiply that. So what our question is going to look like is going to be 23 times 55. That is our question. So let's set up our window. Got my window right here. What a beautiful window. The first thing we got to do is we got to break these down into expanded form. So that becomes 20 and a 3, becomes a 50 and a 5. So we've broken these both down into our expanded form. Now, let us put that on the window. We've got the 50 and the 5 over here, and the 20 and the 3 over here. And a nice little window. First part we're going to do is, because we have to multiply each square, each quadrant, is 20 times 50. As we've just discussed before with our life hack, this is just 2 times 5, which is 10. Add 2 zeros. 1,000. Next up, 20 times 5. Well, this is again the same as 2 times 5, which is 10, plus a 0, which equals 100. Next up, 50 times 3. That's 150. 3 times 5. That's 15. Now we need to add all of these up. 1,000 plus 100. 1,100. 150 plus 15. That equals 165. Now we need to add up these two totals. 0 plus 5 plus 5. 6 plus 0, 6. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus nothing is 1. So, we have now found out how many cards Mr. Merrick has bought. It's been a good day for Mr. Merrick, I think. He bought a total of 1,265 Pokemon cards. But we're not done. If you remember, we've got to put it in a sentence. If we don't put it into a sentence with our answer, it's only part of the marks. So we could put, I don't like it when it's a thick pen like that. Makes my writing look even messier. Alright. If Mr. Merrick bought 23 Elite Trainer boxes, he would have bought a total of 1,265 Pokemon cards. So, let's review how we solved this. The first thing we did, we wanted to see what we had to solve. We want to solve how many cards did Mr. Merrick buy? Well, there were 23 Elite Trainer boxes. Each box had 5 packs with 11 cards. So the first thing we need to do is see how many cards were in one box. 11 times 5 equals 55. We know there are 55 cards in each box. Next, we know that the equation to solve this is going to be 23 boxes times 55 cards in each box. We break that into expanded form. 23 becomes a 20 and a 3. 55 becomes a 50 and a 5. And then we put those numbers on the sides of our window. We multiply each quadrant of the window, add up the totals to get 1,265. We're not quite done yet. The last thing we got to do is write a sentence that restates what the question is. Remember, in English, we've been studying this. Whenever you answer a question, you need to restate what the question was. So I restated it. If Mr. Merrick bought 23 Elite Trainer boxes, he would, oops, look at that. He would have, see, I make mistakes all the time. You can too. He would have bought a total of 1,265 Pokemon cards. That is the process that we use to solve this one using the window method. For our third question, we are going to be using the breaking it apart method. With the breaking apart method, we're going to be using FOIL. Now, FOIL is an acronym, and the first letter stands for first, looking at the first numbers in each set of brackets. Second word is outer, looking at the outer numbers on the brackets. Next, we do the inner, and we do the last. Now that we have quickly reviewed how to do the breaking apart method, let's look at the question and see what we need to figure out. Let's read the whole question first, because this one is a little bit more tricky. A hotel has 15 floors. The lobby, restaurant, and gym are located on the ground floor. The guest rooms are on 2nd to 15th floors. If there are 35 standard rooms on each floor, how many standard rooms are there? So we're trying to figure out how many standard rooms there are. Okay? That's our goal. We want to know how many standard rooms. We know that on each floor that has rooms, there are a total of 35. But only the 2nd to 15th floor have guest rooms. There are no guest rooms on the first floor. There is the lobby, the restaurant, and the gym. So we need to keep that in consideration. If we were to do 35 times 15, it would be wrong. It would be wrong because, if you remember, the first floor does not have any rooms. So the first thing we got to do is find out what we're going to be multiplying it by. So we have 15, subtract 1, gives us 14. That means that we now know there are 14 floors, and on each one of those floors, there are 35 rooms. So our question would look like 35 times 14. We know that out of the floors that have guest rooms, there's 14 of them. And each one of those floors have 35 guest rooms. Therefore, 35 times 14 is going to give us our answer for how many standard rooms are in this hotel. Now, before we get started on using the breaking it apart method, we need to put them into expanded form. So we know that 35 would become 30 plus 5, and 14 would become 10 plus 4. So let's go and put that into an actual mathematical equation. 30 plus 5 multiplied by 10 plus 4. Okay? Remember, whenever you see brackets next to each other, that just means multiply. It's a short form. Instead of putting the times symbol, we can put the brackets, and it means the same thing. It is there to help you for when you get older and you have to do more orders of operation. Let's look again now at FOIL. FOIL says the very first thing we're going to do is the first numbers. That's 30 times 10. So what I'm going to do is down on the bottom, I'm going to put 30 times 10 right here. Yeah. 30 times 10 equals 300. The next is the O, the outer. That would be 30 times 4. 30 times 4, that's the same as 3 times 4, which is 12. Add a 0, 120. Next we have now the inner numbers. The 5 and the 10, these are the inside ones. 5 times 10 equals 50. Lastly, we've got 5 times 4. 5 times 4 equals 20. Add these all up, 0, 0, 0, 2, 5, 7, 2, 9, 3 plus 1 is 4. So we now know that there are 490 standard rooms in this hotel that has standard rooms on the 2nd to 15th floor. But if you remember correctly, we're not quite done yet. The last part is you need to write your answer in a complete sentence. So what are they asking? They're asking how many standard rooms there are. So we could say there are 490 standard rooms in this hotel that has 35 rooms on each floor from the 2nd to the 15th. I have restated my question in the answer, in the sentence, and I put my answer 490. Again, reviewing how do we do it, we needed to first find out what was the multiplication equation we were trying to figure out. Well, we had to do some subtraction to do that first. Once we got our equation, 35 times 14, we had to put it into expanded form. 35 becomes 30 and 5. 14 becomes 10 and 4. We put it into our brackets, and then we applied FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. Once we had answers to the first, outer, inner, last, we added up all of those, and we found our sum of 490. Then we wrote a sentence, a complete sentence, that restated the question. And that is how you solve a word problem for multiplication. Hope you guys all have a fantastic day.